Welcome to the new video, BARUTI fragrances today. BARUTI is the niche brand that definitely doesn't lack bold ideas, strong ingredients and a solid vision. It's a gallery of one artist. All the fragrances are created by the same perfumer, I guess the founder of the brand, which means that if you like his signature, you will probably enjoy this whole house. But for some of us, those creations might be out of the comfort zone. My experience with this discovery box is bittersweet. Overall, it's not my house, but there are some treasures, some very interesting fragrances that I found surprising, bold and pretty attractive. I feel like it's one of those houses that you either fall in love with uniqueness, brave exploration, with new emotions, or it leaves you wondering, what am I smelling? Why am I smelling this? Is perfumery crazy? That's what makes perfumery fun. I bought Eau de Parfum Discovery Set. There is also Extrait de Parfum. There are 10 fragrances. I got it with my own money and it's gonna be an honest review. I will begin with a fragrance called Onder de Linde. This is an ode to linden blossom, linden tree. I love linden blossom in fragrances. It's actually very hard to find a good one. I had high hopes for this one when I saw the notes. I thought that's something I may enjoy, but no, that's a miss for me. It's very fresh take on linden blossom, even too fresh, even too green for my liking. To my nose, this fragrance feels very sour, very green. There is a note of pear that is so prominent, and honestly, it smells like the pear that is a bit turning already, and plus it smells a bit grainy, sort of dirty. It's like not mixed together well enough. Looking at the notes, we have pear, lilac, linden blossom, honey, orris root, vanilla vetiver, sandalwood musk. I don't get any vanilla or honey or iris. It's mostly this kind of synthetic sour pear that I quickly get tired of, honestly. So I love when perfumery is art, when it has bold idea, bold vision, but for me perfume should be also sort of wearable, something you would spray on yourself and enjoy during the day. This one is definitely art, but not very wearable. I just wish it was all the way linden blossom, lilac, floral, beautiful, opulent, but it didn't go this way. Not the most enjoyable for me. It is something between I don't want to wear it and I'm okay with it. So, yeah. Okay, next fragrance. Let's move on to something that I actually like about this brand. This fragrance is called Chai. I have it sprayed already. It's opening. That's interesting. That's pretty cool. Even though the name says chai, I see this fragrance more like a biscuit with some sugar glaze, with some spices, maybe with some touches of mint even. Pretty nice experience. Most of the fragrances I was wearing it on my skin to get the full experience, including this one. I wrote down my first impressions and what I got was really cool, gourmand in my opinion, expressive, balanced, not too sweet, differs from anything else on the market. I do like it. I still agree. It's pretty unique. It's kind of gourmand, but very unusual one. It's a gourmand for those who don't love gourmands. Yeah, spicy, a bit lactonic even, chai, biscuits, yeah, pretty cool experience. I find it wearable, comfortable, surprising, like it's standing out definitely, and it works for me. Let's look at the notes. Cinnamon, cloves, ginger, cardamom, pepper, black tea, steamed milk, cacao, roses, vanilla, musk, leather. So a bunch of spices and lactonic note that is present here that I get a lot, and that's nice. And also this gingerbread with cacao. Yes, Speaking about the texture of this fragrance, I get this flowery, sandy feeling, like a crushed spices, crushed biscuits. It's fun, I really enjoy it. In my opinion, this is one of the best from the house, really enjoyable, wearable, but still artistic, and I would wear it for Christmas, honestly. Gingerbread. So yes, chai, successful gingerbread, spicy gourmand. Next fragrance I have applied already. It is called Berlin im Winter. A charismatic rebel who answers to no one, intoxicating and unpredictable. Okay. Well, let's have a look at the notes. Lavender, mastic oil, rose, iris, cassis, plum, myrrh, frankincense, Irish coffee, nude, amber, leather. Such beautiful notes. I love lavender, myrrh. It's supposed to be rose, resinous, aromatic, with some deep, dark base, leather, amber, everything. Everything is supposed to be good in this fragrance for my liking, except for one note, the note of PP. I needed to wash it off. I just couldn't tolerate it at all. I was like, no, I have to wash it. And it's pretty concentrated, so it didn't leave my skin from the first attempt. I needed to wash it again and again. On paper, it smells slightly different. It smells more aromatic and resinous, yeah. That's a strange experience. Don't take my word for it. Try it yourself and make your own conclusions, but I don't like it. Really, if you don't experience the note of cassis in here the way I do it, you will probably enjoy this fragrance. There is depth, there is a lot of good ingredients and notes. From what I understand, Berlin im Winter is one of the most popular, one of the most loved fragrances from the house. But for me, it doesn't work. I mean, lucky people who can understand the beauty of this fragrance. Good for you. Next fragrance is called Oh My Dear. And oh my dear, I have to prepare my nose. Oh la la. This is probably one of the worst fragrances I ever smelled through my whole fragrance journey. It literally burns my nose. The opening is so peppery that I want to sneeze right away, and those aldehydes in here, they like cut my nose like a knife. It's so metallic, so cold, so sharp. I'm wondering who can enjoy this fragrance. I'm sure there are people, but what I can say is, yeah, it smells like a kitchen knife that was cutting some herbs, crushing some pepper, some spices, and those aldehydes here. It's not Chanel No. 5 aldehydes, it's literally something ozonic, something synthetic, poisonous. Personally, I find it horribly repulsing. I try to be very open-minded to fragrances. I try to see it as an artistic expression of certain idea, but this one is a torture. I mean, what I can say, it's not suitable for blind buy. None of those fragrances, like, really get a discovery set if you are interested in this house. You have to experience it first. Let's look at the notes. Black pepper, Sichuan pepper, aldehydes, metallic notes, lily of the valley accord, incense, amber, vanilla, soft barnyard accord, and tons of musk. That for me smells like a dead beast cut in half with the sharp metallic knife. Wow. If you like something, if you want something crazy, animalic, something that everyone will be like, wow, what's that? What does that smell? That might be an option. But again, my own experience, it's one of the worst fragrances I've ever tried. Oh my God. After smelling Oh My Dear, I want to grab something soothing, something really nice. It's called Tindrer. Oh, that's good. I mean, it's not even the scent, it's the whole vibe, the whole idea, the image created here. The fresh cut lawn, these little flowers, violets, dandelions. a bit of wet pavement at the same time. That's a well-maintained, freshly cut lawn in the park, in the heart of the big city. It's very fresh, bitter, grassy. First of all, grassy. It's like morning misty grass. It has a lot of moisture. It's very fresh, very cold fragrance. If I can think of the color, that's the color of this fragrance, like a green, fresh, aquatic even. And it also evolves, it develops. When I was wearing it on the skin, later on I got some even lactonic nuances, some floral notes, some violet maybe. Let's have a look at the notes. Cut grass, twigs, wet soil, violets, white musk, ambergris, heliotrope, moss. That's something I expect from niche perfumery. Unusual, striking, but at the same time, you're like, wow, that's a nice reference for the cut grass. If in winter or autumn you're missing this freshness, that's really the blast of freshness, the greenness, juicy grass. This fragrance I really appreciate. That's a great experience. Voyance is our next fragrance. Confusing. I have some mixed feelings about this fragrance. It is a tuberose, but very special one. There are bold, thick, rough, woody notes, and on the contrast there is this soft, creamy tuberose, like the petals of tuberose. I love the idea, sandalwoody tuberose that is not designer-like, that is not too creamy, it's not too sweet, not too sensual. But what I don't fully enjoy is this roughness of the wood. It's very raw. What Create is saying about this fragrance, it combines ultra-masculine with ultra-feminine, unapologetically gender-fluid. I can agree, yeah. There is really a big, bold contrast that I find quite interesting. But I love the tuberosy part of it, and I'm not a big fan of this thick, rough wood in here. The notes: tuberose, guaiac wood, vetiver, sandalwood, musk. Like if you're looking for the tuberose, but you want this masculine, rough interpretation, that can be interesting. It has some smokiness, warmth from the woody notes, from especially guaiac wood. It brings this smoky feeling. I only wish that the woody notes here would be a little bit more polished, a bit more like speaking the same language with tuberose and creamy, musky sandalwood notes, but yet keeping that contrast. That would be something I would enjoy. During the life of this fragrance, it gets creamier, softer, musky, but you have to pass this, let's say, masculine stage before you get to this feminine softness of this fragrance. I can't say I like or dislike this fragrance. I just wish there were maybe some maybe a bit more floral notes. But I appreciate this unique take on tuberose. That's pretty captivating. All right. Next fragrance is called Indigo. I'm really thankful for this fragrance because I discovered the note of mastic oil that I have never experienced before. Pretty fun combination of notes and very exciting evolution. What was positive about my experience with this house is exploring new combinations. I love this boldness, this uncompromising attitude. There is newness, there are new ages, new interpretations of different ingredients, notes. Perfumer doesn't hesitate to mix in something new, to bring something unusual on the market. I registered my first impression from this fragrance. The opening of the scent smells a bit like swimming pool water. I get something aquatic, I do. Then I get something lactonic, maybe even the note of cardamom. It gives me the sensation as Lumiere Blanche from Olfactive Studio. Then I get some greener notes, iris. Yeah, interesting to explore, hard to wear, very artistic. That I can say about every fragrance in this box. It doesn't smell like Lumiere Blanche, but I get the same kind of vibe. It's a little bit sad, even a bit quiet, somewhat melancholic fragrance. The notes here: mastic oil, hyacinth, rose, frankincense, atlas cedarwood, sandalwood, nude amber. Nude is what I believe a synthetic version of oud. You can see it in many BARUTI fragrances. I don't get it here at all. What I get is the rose, some resinous note, and this mastic oil that I just discovered. And I can't wait to smell more fragrances with this note. That's something so surprising. Something sweet, salty, something warm and cold at the same time. I have to say, I kind of like this fragrance. I can meditate on this fragrance for long. There's a lot to say, to explore in the scent. I got captivated by it. Indigo from BARUTI is a totally new experience for me. Like, I'm really happy I discovered it. Very unusual. 3 more fragrances to go. Let's grab Nude. Nude. There. From what I understand, there is not a single drop of oud in this fragrance. Instead, the author creates a reconstruction of this accord using some notes, some materials that he doesn't even disclose, so we can only guess. My first impression, it's good. As an oud fragrance without oud, it smells pretty clean, almost sterile and woody, very woody, smoky and sensual. I'm not very experienced with oud note in perfumery, but really there is nothing bad I can say about this fragrance. The house suggests to use it as a layer to add smoky or woody vibe. True, that's true. And or use it as a seductive standalone. For me, that can be a really nice layering fragrance if you want to add a touch of woodiness and smokiness, but not very overpowering, very kind of friendly oud variation. That can be really cool. It doesn't smell too animalic. It smells fresh, clean. There's a lot of air in this fragrance. There is a room to add something else, whatever you want. That's fun about this scent. In my opinion, it's a successful, clean reconstruction of oud without oud, which is nice, simple, but very good on its own even, and of course very good for layering. That's true. Next fragrance is fun. It is called Perverso. This one is a gunshot. It's very tobacco, very smoky. There is anise maybe. There are some boozy notes, possibly rum. It's a scent of casino. It's a scent of bittersweet life. The notes here: rum, roasted nut, cacao powder, caramel fudge, fig, tobacco leaves, styrax, musk, ambergris. There is a ton of gourmand notes, but I can hardly call it a gourmand, maybe because the tobacco is so prominent here and it's a very smoky scent, very tobacco-like. Somehow it reminds me a lot Joie de Peau from Serge Lutens, but with tons of tobacco added in it. It has a bit of this bread-like smell like in Joie de Peau, but in a different way. I really love this gourmand structure, this gourmand body of this fragrance, the notes, the booziness, but for my liking there is a bit too much tobacco. I would enjoy this fragrance if tobacco would have been replaced with incense note. That would be my thing, yeah. But my husband enjoyed it. He asked me the day after I was wearing Perverso, like, what were you wearing yesterday? It was like really good. How I feel about this fragrance, it's an expressive, boozy, dark scent of casino, illegal activities. It will not leave you unnoticed. It's very prominent, very diffusive, and very individual. I feel like you have to be in the mood for this fragrance. You have to dress for this fragrance. It tells you its own rules that you have to follow. This scent can appeal to a lot of niche lovers. It is worth sampling. Don't take my word for it, but the dry down is pretty good. Yeah. Okay. Last fragrance we have is called Dama Koupa. Dama Koupa. That's an iris fragrance. I'm very curious about the note of iris. I want to explore it a bit more. So far, maybe the best iris I had was Athalia from Parfums de Marly. That was the iris I love in perfumery. That was elegant. But here it's truly a depression in a bottle. That's, in my opinion, an example of melancholic, sad, depressing iris that I usually don't like. It's just way too dusty, too gray, too powdery. I'm curious about the notes. There is macaroons, iris, osmanthus, musk, amber, white woods, beeswax, fir balsam absolute. Even the notes of beeswax and fir balsam don't contribute a lot to this fragrance. They don't make it resinous, they don't elevate the fragrance. It still smells for me like 100 years old cosmetic powder. Very depressing fragrance, and no, not a big fan. Some conclusions. Overall, I can say that BARUTI is not my house. It is too niche even for me. But there are some scents I enjoyed. I really like this chai fragrance. That's a good one. Maybe the best from the box. Spicy, lactonic, very nice, interesting gourmand fragrance. I also quite enjoyed the Indigo because of this mastic oil, the rose, the resinous note. Tindrer, the scent of cut grass. If you live in a cold country and during winter you are really missing this beautiful scent of freshly cut grass, it's good to have this little sample to remind yourself that spring is coming. The last fragrance I want to highlight is the Perverso. Even though I don't like the tobacco note in here, otherwise I find it pretty appealing, and my husband enjoyed it. So the worst experience was Oh My Dear, this peppery, metallic, aldehydic fragrance. That's horrible experience. Oh my god, I don't want to smell it ever again. And Berlin in Winter, because of the urinal note. If you don't get it, I'm happy for you, because you can discover the beauty of this fragrance, but I cannot. Also the Dama Koupa, the very depressing take on iris. There is so much sadness in life. Why do you make sad fragrances? The rest of the day I'm gonna spend with the chai fragrance, my favorite, and thank you for watching. I will see you in my next video very soon. Goodbye.